Hi, welcome to my sewing studio.
Si tu es un bon monde, je serai là pour toi. Je serai là pour toi. Tu es le soleil. Si tu restes dans ma vie, je serai là. Je veux juste te dire, moi je m'en avec toi. Tu es dans mon cœur. Je voudrais décrire.
Hi guys, I hope you're all doing so well. I am so excited to be filming this video. I've been wanting to film a sewing studio tour for like 2 years now. My partner and I have been in this apartment for 4 years, and it was just this January that it started to feel like, oh my gosh, I think this is kind of the final form. I mean, I know it's like a studio, so it's constantly like shifting and evolving, but I really like where this is at right now. So this is my sewing room. I am so grateful to be able to have a dedicated space. Like, this room can look however she wants. I don't have to worry about the mess being cluttered because no one really comes in this room other than me and like my dog, obviously. As a little overview, this room definitely serves multiple functions. This side of my studio is definitely like storage, where I keep like a lot of my supplies. This area where the desk is at is my working space, my sewing space, like my editing and even like my cutting. And then this space right here is like my content creation. In front of this backdrop is where I shoot a lot of content. And then directly behind me is going to be sort of like my second closet. So I have all of my works in progress or just like stuff that I'm going to upcycle. And then obviously here is like my closet where I keep the majority of my clothes. And yeah, that's just a little overview. I'm going to talk about each area a little bit more deeply, and I'm going to show you all the like nooks and crannies of this studio. All right, so you're in my deepest, darkest thoughts. This is probably the most unorganized this has ever looked. I've kind of went crazy over the past few months collecting fabric from thrift stores, and this has just become unmanageable. And just the thought of like organizing this makes me want to scream and cry and throw up. So that's why it looks like that. But honestly, I'm such a hoarder. Like, I don't know. I feel like sewing and upcycling has really just taught me the value of function and how I can really make anything work. And so it just gives me a lot of anxiety to throw any of the stuff away, especially because I've been curating it for so long. This little chrome rack I got from Target. I know we're not really shopping there anymore, but it has been pretty functional for the past like 3 years. I think if I were to redo this room all over again, I would want to get maybe like an IKEA wardrobe or something with like doors so that I wouldn't have to see this mess, because honestly, I kind of just like divert my attention from this side of the room. But yeah, I think like a wardrobe, something with doors where I can just like easily store the fabric and it kind of becomes like more manageable. I think that would be the best case solution. This does the job though. And then up here I have more storage. I kind of hate the look of these like boxes, but honestly, these are so functional that like I haven't found anything that could replace it because of the sheer size of it all. Q2 goal of mine is to definitely reorganize and take inventory of all of the fabrics that I have, because that is honestly the most sustainable thing. It's not hoarding, it's like actually using all of this stuff. And I think that once it's organized, I will be able to utilize it better. Okay, I'm gonna shift you a little low. Okay, so right next to my giant scrap pile, I have this shelving furniture. I actually found this on Facebook Marketplace. I got it for like $10, I think, something ridiculous. This houses like my sewing and art supplies that I kind of need on a quick basis. So, you know, that is my bias tape, some ribbons, and then some more little like backup sewing supplies. And then this lower shelf right here is definitely more miscellaneous. This room serves not only as like my sewing studio, but it's also sort of like an extended closet. So here is where all of my accessories are housed. So here are all my sunglasses. And then right over there, I have like all my jewelry. It's very messy. I definitely need to find like a better storing solution for my jewelry. And even too, like I feel that there's like a better way to utilize this space. Like I could use all of this wall space to mount my actual sunglasses. You know, when you go to like a nail salon and you see all of the beautiful polishes displayed on like an acrylic shelf, I've seen people use those acrylic shelves as like a sunglass holder thing So I'm thinking I'm going to be doing that within the next few months. I just feel like I could be utilizing the space a little bit more efficiently. And like all my jewelry is just kind of thrown in that little faux jewelry box. But I have to spend time like untangling it, and I can't deal with that. Okay, now for my favorite part of my sewing studio is probably my work area. So this is hybrid as well. This is where I do all my sewing. So you can see my sergers here and then my new little sewing machine. And it also serves as like my workspace when it comes to editing and doing any kind of like admin stuff on my laptop. I really needed whatever my work area to be multifunctional, because I do need a lot of space for like sewing, but then I also needed a desk for all of my editing. I really contemplated what that was gonna look like. I didn't know if that was gonna look like 2 individual desks. I didn't know if it was gonna be like one solid thing. I ultimately ended up doing this setup and I absolutely love it so much. So this actual desk counter is like a butcher's block from IKEA, from like the kitchen section. I loved it because it was already finished. Like this wasn't just like a raw piece of wood that I would have to like, you know, put a top coat over. Yeah, what I really love about this is that it's so sturdy. It's already finished. This piece of wood is so freaking heavy. It's actually so heavy that it's not even like screwed down to the drawer elements. It's actually free floating, and I haven't had any issues with it yet, again because it's so freaking heavy. It doesn't really move or anything. And then yeah, these 2 drawers are the Alex drawers, I believe that's what they're called. They're like the OG YouTube beauty guru like setup. This is like where all the girlies had like their makeup. And speaking of makeup, this is actually where I also get ready. This top drawer is going to be all of my makeup stuff, and then I just use this little mirror behind here. And so actually this little workspace is like a vanity as well, which is kind of crazy that like a space can be so multifunctional like this. As part of my workspace, we also have these 2 little pegboards. Again, these are from IKEA, and they just house all of my immediate sewing machine supplies. So like we have all of the spools right there, super easy access. And then I also have like some scissors, some X-Acto knives, more scissors, some needle and thread. All of my seam rippers are in this little cubby right here. And then of course, just some photos and some like affirmations that I love to see on a daily basis because they bring me so much happiness. I know you're dying to see what's in my drawers. Let's go through all of the drawers. Okay, so this bottom drawer is all of like my shipping supplies. So whenever someone orders a custom piece of clothing from me, this is the drawer that I visit. So we have some hanging ties, tissue paper, bubble wrap, and then these are my cutie little note cards that I designed on Canva. It says your 3 homes, your mind, your body, and then earth. Take proper care of them. And then I like to do a little like handwritten note right there, and it says a 1 of 1 garment for a 1 of 1 person. I am so proud of these. I think these are so cute, and I love writing little individual notes to people. I just think that is like my love language. So, and as you can probably tell, stationery is also like a love language of mine, and that's why I love doing all of this stuff. The next drawer is like a shit show. I guess we have like a fabric shaver. Honestly, this is like such an easy way to like prolong your clothes. This is a fabric shaver. If you have like pilling or anything, you can just kind of like shave off the pills. You know, worn clothing will eventually have like a lot of pilling. With this shaver, you can just shave off all of that and your clothes literally look brand new. So I have that here. I have some spray paint, and then some sewing accessories that came with my old sewing machine. And then I have like old photos, and this right here is kind of a junk drawer, so this is like not that important. This drawer houses all of my sewing foots. Like I was needing to change stuff on a really quick basis, and I just needed something that was like really easily displayed and accessible. I don't know, I want to say I've used like maybe like 6 of them. I haven't used all of them. Do I think it's like necessary to have? No. Is it nice to have? Yes, very much so. And then this is my to-do list and some miscellaneous stuff like some zippers, some wires. But when I need to change my presser foot, then boom, I just do it, change it, and we're good to go. And then this drawer, this is a fun drawer for me. So we have a lot of sewing notions in here. We have this like chain thing. We have some of these guys that go at the end of the elastic. They're like elastic stoppers. I love all of the different metals. You have like bronze, you have like gold, silver, you have like a smoky silver. I love using these so much with like corset elastics. These are some little pins that I was gluing orchids to and then adding them to like swimsuits for my birthday. And then here are all of like the O-rings that I've collected over the years from thrift stores. These come from like belts and like tops. These are my little bias tape makers. So you basically put a long strip of fabric in them, and then the other end you put a hot iron, and then it'll come out like all folded, and this is really awesome. Other miscellaneous like jewelry stuff, like I have more chains here. I have earring backs. I have some really nice trim that I seam ripped off of an old bed skirt. I have some like feather boa stuff. I have a lot of these like pearl beads. I've been kind of obsessed with like pearl details in clothing and shoes and all of that. Even more pearls. I like decked out this like really sick Atlanta Braves hat in pearls. And so that's where all of these come from. And then obviously too, like I'm a bow girly, so these like pre-made bows come in handy a lot of the time. And then in the back I have some spools of thread that I just don't really reach a lot. There's like a neon yellow and a neon green, and then we have a zipper that should go in this drawer, not in that one. I've been doing a lot of wardrobe styling for production shoots, commercial work, and like short film stuff. And I had a stylist gift me this snap button kit, and I love when I get free like sewing supplies on set. All right, so this is where all of like my elastics live. This is where all of my pre-made bobbins also live. And then I have more thread here. I have all of my sewing needles in there. My tailor's chalk, and then I got these off of Etsy. These are cutie little clothing tags. It says like handmade with love. Some little sparkles, more snap buttons, more grommets. This is like my snap button kit that I use, and the grommet tool is also in there. I probably use this drawer the most out of all of the ones I just showed you because this is where like all my threads are and all my immediate sewing supplies. And yeah. These set of drawers aren't as nice or as organized as like the ones I just showed you. These are a little bit more miscellaneous. So I'm gonna go through them really quickly. This drawer houses all of like my fabric paints and all of these acrylic paints, even like some resin. I made like a resin jersey last year and that's what I used for that. This drawer is miscellaneous like printer stuff. This is like toner. These are some scrunchies that I made. Some hot glue. This is very miscellaneous, very messy. We don't have to go through that. This drawer is like all of my nail stuff. So I like to do my own press-ons and stuff like that. So this drawer houses all of these. Actually just got this chill tip set. So excited. I have a friend's wedding I'm going to in Mexico City in like 3 weeks. So I'm going to be using this set. But yeah, I have like all my nail polishes, all my drill bits, all of these like files that go in the electric nail filer that I have. I have like these like BRT box like press-ons are like incredible. They look so realistic. So yeah, this is where all of like my nail stuff lives. And then this drawer is like all of my electronics. As you can see, it's just a mess. It's like Wire City and it's very messy, and I always try to keep this organized and it never ends up being organized. But yeah, these are all my chargers, all of my cables, all of like my headphones. And then this drawer is gonna be like all of my makeup. So as I said, I use this as like a getting ready area. And lip products, we have highlighters, we have more highlighters and blushes. We got lippies right here. These are all like mascara and like eyeliners. My beauty blender, some makeup setting spray, and like other primers. Here are all my brushes, and then this is like all foundation stuff, more lip products. I will say one of the things that sold me on TikTok Shop was these like acrylic organizers, and that's what's in all of the drawers pretty much. and I love those so much. It has made organizing my drawers so easy. It came with like 150 of those. Game changer. I absolutely love them. Okay, now we're in sort of the little content creation area of my room. So I ended up getting this pretty narrow backdrop. I've had it for like 2 years and the paper is definitely running low. Let me know the next color I should get. I'm kind of over the white, but this has changed the content creation game for me so bad. You always need just like a white simple backdrop, and this is what I use to showcase all of my finished upcycles. This is where my dress form usually lives, in front of the backdrop. I'm actually tailoring something for my partner right now, for Johnny. I made him this like really beautiful quilted vest for his birthday like 2 years ago. He's been wanting more of like a tailored look, so the process of taking in some of the shoulder seams. You can't really see it. The end of my desk is right there, and I just have my little mini like ironing table. If I could give you one tip of like something that changed my sewing game, it was honestly just like ironing all of the stuff, ironing all the seams after I was done sewing. It really makes a difference to press your garments. I know that's nothing revolutionary, but like I didn't do that when I first started sewing, and now that I do it, I can tell the world of a difference it makes. Something that I was trying so hard to hide in all of the B-roll is this giant gaping hole in my carpet. Yeah, I accidentally pressed the carpet and I literally burnt it off. It was kind of insane. It kind of just toppled over, and before I knew it, I burnt off like a chunk of my carpet, so I just kind of had to rip it off. Your girl is definitely trying to get her safety deposit back, so I'm gonna figure out a way to like maybe rip some carpet inside my closet and kind of just safety glue that guy on there, because yeah, I'm trying to get my safety deposit back. An issue that I came across when I was doing this little like backdrop area was that the paper was getting so wrinkled that I was like running through the sky. And so the temporary solution that I came up with is I ended up getting one of those plastic mats that you see in offices that kind of let you have those like rolly chairs. I figured, I was like, oh, that's gonna be really helpful in like not crinkling it as much. And yeah, that's what I'm currently standing on. It's still gonna get wrinkled and crinkled and everything because it's like paper and you're putting like weight on it. But with the addition of the plastic mat, it definitely like elongates the paper. Okay, and then the last little part of like my sewing studio is going to be like my closet area. So I have these 2 exposed racks and then my actual closet that houses like literally all of my clothes. So for these 2 racks, I really wanted to display the clothes that I've made. I truly believe that these are pieces of art, and I just wanted to see like my actual progress and like the stuff that I'm working on displayed. So here you can see I have 2 exposed racks. I would say that the first one is like all of my finished pieces of clothing. Seeing them makes me really happy, and I can physically see the progress that I've done with like my sewing journey. And then the bottom rack is going to be like thrifted clothing that I haven't yet upcycled. The upcycles that are in my rotation and works in progress, and even just thrifted clothing that is going to be made into upcycled clothing. So I can just physically see like, oh, I thrifted this curtain to be made into a purse, and so I can just quickly grab it. Honestly, this bottom rack is like a way to keep myself accountable for all of the upcycles that I say I'm gonna do. If it was just living on that chrome shelf that I showed you earlier, I would never see it and it would never get done. So this bottom rack is like, okay, you spent money on this to be made into something else. It's time to actually make what you say you're gonna make. The process of actually mounting these racks was incredibly difficult. I wanted everything in here to be mounted, made, or like furnished by me because I've always loved interior design. Actually, fun fact, when I was teaching myself how to sew, I was also kind of entertaining the idea of learning how to like DIY and upcycle furniture. I've just never had a home with a garage, and it's kind of hard to do all of that stuff in an apartment setting. So that's why I kind of put all of my focus onto fashion design and learning how to sew. But baby, if I had a garage, it would be so over because I would just like make everything. I would learn how to woodwork. I would learn how to make furniture. That is definite goals for me when I have a house. So hopefully that happens. soon. But yeah, mounting these guys was incredibly difficult. I've always heard of like studs, you have to find the studs and all of that, but I've never found a stud in my life. When it came to actually drilling a hole for this like section and this one, it was borderline impossible because I had to drill into the stud, but I didn't have the proper drill. So I had to go to Lowe's, and then I got the wrong one. And then I had to buy an even stronger electric drill because the one I have is kind of like a Barbie version. It was a headache. Since we're here and I've showed you so much, I will be happy to show you my closet. Again, not very organized, but it gets the job done. The way that I've broken down my closet is like the top shelf has like all of my denim and all of like my skirts. That side kind of has all of like the long maxi dresses and maxi skirts. This bottom drawer houses pretty much all of my shirts. And then in the middle there, that's where I fold all of like my denim shorts and all of my shorts in general. It gets the job done. It's color coordinated and that makes me feel very happy. And my shoes are in one place. From here on out is like all of my hat and scarves collection. And yeah, it just works for me. I wish there was like a better, sexier way to organize my closet, but this works. All right, guys, that is a full 360 tour of my sewing studio / extended closet. I feel so unbelievably grateful to be able to have a space like this that really fosters my creativity and just like, this is like a haven for me, guys. I've really just manifested my life to look like one giant arts and crafts period. I am really just so unbelievably grateful that I have a space like this that really like fosters my creativity and I can be as loud and as messy as I want. There's so much chaos in like the creation process, so to have 4 walls dedicated to doing that is just really life-changing. And I'm just so happy with the decision that I made to invest in something like this. I'm just so honored to have this. Came from having a tiny little desk set up in my old apartment to having a fully dedicated room. And it's just so beautiful to be able to witness the evolution of like this hobby that has changed my life completely. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope that maybe I gave you a little interior inspo on how to better organize your creative space. That's kind of like the biggest thing, is I just always want to be organized because I always want my creativity to flourish, and in like a messy and chaotic environment, it's kind of difficult. So yeah, I will try to link everything in the description. But yeah, again, I hope you guys enjoyed. I love you so much. You have no idea how much all of your support means to me. Okay, well, I will see you guys on the next one. I love you so much. Mwah. Bye.
And I thank you for the leather fans, the kisses and the smiles. And I thank you for being the best part of my life.